Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brandon Shank, and welcome to the Brandon Shank Podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brandon Shank Podcast. As always, I got my guy with me, Corey, who's no longer in the corner for the day. We let him out.
I'm free, baby.
Let him out.
Not in the corner.
This is our special new venue episode. We just got done shooting some video in here. This is our new venue for Palms Church, our broadcast location coming this summer. It started.
Is this what it feels like to be out of the corner? I mean, it's like a whole new world for me.
I mean, I don't know if you're out of the corner or the corner is just on you, bro. You know, because, I mean, a guy your size doesn't really just sit in a corner. The corner kind of wraps around you, you know?
I have a gravitational pull, that's for sure.
So, anyway, this summer, coming to you live from this location right here at 3259 Virginia Beach Boulevard, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
I'm excited.
Palms Church coming out live. You know, today is what they call May Day. Never heard of it until this morning.
It's gonna be
what is it?
May.
What? You know what it is?
No, I don't know what it is. I was singing the,
so I'm going to say it's the midway point between spring equinox and summer solstice.
Is what, just May 1st?
May Day.
May Day. Okay.
Today.
It's almost May the 4th, too.
Yeah, and you know that's why I brought it up, because I feel like between St. Patrick's Day, May Day, and May the 4th, I get confused with all these things that aren't really holidays. St. Patrick's Day is. But you know what I mean? Like, I just get confused. I'm like, there's so many random days that and you're like, well, how'd St. Patrick's Day get thrown in there? Well, May the 4th be with you. I get that. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I'm not a fan.
Well, you also call it Star Wars.
I said Star Wars.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I just don't watch it.
So, you're not okay, gotcha.
That'd be like
you're
you
not
saying.
against.
I'm not against it. I just don't watch it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Baby Yoda is a thing in my house, hardcore. Is that even in Star Wars?
Yeah, but not like the original.
Yeah, that's what
movies.
I thought. It's like an added
Mandalorian TV show.
Mandalorian, yeah. So that's what I thought. See, I knew that. Baby Yoda.
Start asking you all the questions about. Hey, can I call out another one of our resident nerds? Pastor Buddy is in Disney World, and he was texting a group of us, and he went and made his own lightsaber. And I was calling him a nerd. I know that's probably hypocritical, but
I mean,
he has a picture of himself with his lightsaber strapped to his back. He's ready. He's ready for May the 4th. I just blew your mind there, I think.
I saw the shirts Buddy was wearing in Disney, and that is the ultimate. I told him, I said, bro, you're the ultimate dad.
Listen, this is a clip. This will be a social media clip, because talk about the shirt for a little bit. Just tell the people. I feel like they need
I don't think I should.
It's loud. Let's just say that. It's loud. Here's the picture.
Put it this way. I don't have the confidence that Buddy has to wear a shirt like that.
Neither do I.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Buddy and his family, they are like
the funnest people. First of all, the funnest people on earth.
The greatest people you ever
If they were
meet.
my parents, I would want for nothing.
Sure.
That's the reality of it. Buddy and Amanda, if they were my parents, I would want for nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not that secure in myself. They have the most fun.
Yeah.
Of any two people that have ever parented children, in my personal opinion.
Sure.
I've never met two people that have more fun parenting kids than them.
Yeah, and their team T-shirt family. You know, they're matching. They're
everything you would think about the family going to Disney is them.
Yes.
And nobody has more fun doing it.
Sure.
It makes me envious, but there's no way I would ever do it.
I would never
because it's just not me. I don't have the confidence. Buddy, the dude is just who he is. He goes hard, man.
He does.
Amanda and Buddy go hard.
They do.
So I have an aunt. Her name is Linda. One of my favorite humans in the world. She was a huge part of my childhood, huge part of my upbringing. She was like a mom to me. And she reminds me so much of Amanda. Like she was that, you know, like in the summer she'd buy watermelon ice cream and it had the seeds in it, but they were chocolate. Like just random stuff. You're like, where do you even get that? That was my aunt. That reminds me of Amanda. Just the funnest person and makes everything fun.
Chocolate?
Chocolate. The seeds, it looked like a watermelon.
Oh, it looked.
And when you go to eat it, the seeds were little chocolate pieces.
My brain thought you were eating watermelon with chocolate in it. Okay.
But that's what it was. It looked like a watermelon ice cream.
Okay.
But the ice cream looked like a watermelon.
Yeah. Okay.
You ever had that?
No, but I know
it was delicious. It was like a sherbet with these chocolate seeds. Anyway, I'm all that to say, Buddy and Amanda, they voted here on the podcast first, number one most fun parents ever. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Agree.
Yeah. Amanda was at my house a couple months ago playing basketball.
Oh.
Yeah. And just her and Casey were just working the kids because they were all jonesing on them like they couldn't do it. They were just working them. Amanda took a tumble, got back up, kept going at it. And the reason I say this, I'm not to expose Amanda, But to simply say, people, I always tell our kids, you don't understand the athletes that your moms are. Amanda and Casey are two of them. They walked up on the wrong fight. Amanda and Casey destroyed these children. And I was like, when y'all turn 18, come back. But not before then.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Coolest mom, most fun. We'll take a tumble and keep going. Hardcore.
Well, speaking of
Amanda, you got my vote.
Speaking of taking a tumble, I have video evidence of Amanda doing dizzy bat in our front yard. So
was it for any reason or just
fun? I think. Just
my
fun.
point.
She'll go hard. Hard
So
in the paint.
his whole thing about Buddy's shirt, my point, I stand by it to death. Most fun parents.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
They're pretty cool.
They're really cool. So anyway, the NFL draft is finished, and everybody says, what do you think? And I say, who knows? They haven't played a game yet. I think it's like, well, you should have an opinion. No, they haven't played a game. Time and time again, the NFL draft is shown to be an absolute. I love it. I watch it, but it's just, you don't know. To be like, what do you think of Jaden Daniels? I don't know. I hope he wins. I think he's going to be great if he wins. If not, I just hope he figures out a way, right? I think he'll be great, but he's never played a game. But I will tell you one thing that confused all of the NFL world, including myself, was the Falcons just signed Kirk Cousins to over $160 million contract. And in the first round, they drafted Michael Penix Jr., a quarterback out of Washington.
Oh.
Why?
Yeah.
All of us are asking the same question. Why would you draft a quarterback in the first round when you just signed a quarterback to over $160 million 4-year deal? And they even said Kirk Cousins' camp was confused. Now, everybody on the outside will question it, and they'll say, well, he's going to sit for 4 years. I get that. You're telling me, unless Michael Penix Jr. becomes a stud in the NFL, you could probably get him in 3 or 4 years off of a team and bring him to your team. They're going to pay this guy to sit in a first-round draft pick. Do you know how much money you're investing in the quarterback position? Your starting quarterback's over $160 million. You're investing in a backup to sit for 4 years. That was a first-round pick. He's going to get first-round money. Why not invest in a linebacker or receivers or something to make your team better with your $160 million quarterback? But instead, you draft a quarterback in the first round. Baffled. That's all I'm going to say. Baffled.
Seems like a backup plan.
I feel like, they either didn't believe in what they signed, but I don't think that's the case. I think they legitimately just froze on the clock. Like, oh, let's do this. This makes sense.
Oh, man.
Why would you draft a quarterback right there?
Yeah, that's
I don't
crazy.
get it. I mean, there's just no way it'll ever make sense. If Michael Penix Jr. becomes the best quarterback to ever play the game, I would question, why did you sign Kirk Cousins? That's all.
That's crazy.
All.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But, so, what do you got going on, man? What's your week look like? Tell the people.
It's been, here. I'm here a lot.
Corey's here a lot.
Tearing out walls and stuff like that. So I'll be here a lot. It's here a lot. It's baseball a lot. Which shout out to my oldest son, the Major League Orioles. 16-0 win last night.
It's a big one.
Smacking the ball. Well, yeah, we 15-run rolled him in the third. So I told Maddox, he went out on the mound. I said, hey, because he started pitching and he pitched 3 innings. He pitched 43 pitches, 70% strike percentage. And then I told him the third inning, I said, hey, you stop him here, game's over. He goes, what? I said, yeah, dude, game's over. 16-0. It's over. Just finish it. Went out and finished it. So,
well, listen, I want to give a shout out then, if that's the case, to my youngest, Asher.
Go for it.
Who's a bulldozer behind the plate.
Oh, he is.
I've seen Asher collide with kids multiple times this year in front of home plate.
Treats it like football, huh?
He picks up the ball and just runs with full arms extended. And he's had collisions at home as a runner and collisions as a catcher. And, I'm not sure that all of it's legal, but he's enjoying himself. First year in. Asher's been waiting for years to play baseball.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
I love
it. We leave tomorrow, man. We're headed to Chicago, going to celebrate Casey as she graduates from Wheaton this weekend after 4 years, a hard-earned master's in evangelism and leadership from Wheaton College. Yeah, through the Propel Women. Represent Propel Women. Thank you for all that you've done to help my wife. It's going to be incredible. Boys were flying for the first time tomorrow, so I'm excited.
First time?
They've never
flown. First time flyers?
Yeah.
You got to get the pins, man.
They give them?
They should. Yeah, first time flyers. Ask the pilot
wait.
as soon as you walk on. Hey, first time here. They'll be like, they might have trading cards for them. Who knows? Come on, dude.
Let's go. Well, they're getting excited. They're excited. They're really pumped. I'm excited for the pizza in Chicago.
Oh.
Casey got some spots. She's been going there for 4 years, and so she's got a lot of restaurants she wants us to try. Cool. And that's the great point, right? You don't have to worry about when you get there. But let me tell you something that happened. When you and I were flying back from Montgomery. We were in the airport in Atlanta, and it was packed. And we were going to get lunch, and we had it like an hour before we had to get on the plane. And a guy walks over to me and says, hey, y'all looking for a table? I said, sure. And he cleans off the table, and he said, hey, sit here. And he said, the Lord's favor's on you. He said, I got you. And it was just a moment, as weird as that sounds, where I felt like God was like, Brandon, when I have favor, it's not just in moments, it's always. So it was one of those things where I think now when I think about flying, I think about that guy. I was in this random airport. I mean, it was packed that day. You remember there wasn't anywhere to stand, sit, just packed. I was like, man, everybody in the world is flying through Atlanta today. Yeah. And he's like, hey man, I got you. And then when we went to get up, he's like, let me take all that stuff for you. You know what I mean? And so
this is amazing.
Just cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool. So hey, Lord's favor's on you. It ain't leaving. So what kind of fun fact do we have today, Corey?
Oh, okay. I got a cool one, and this is it's construction related.
I like it
because
he's doing construction.
I'm living in construction right now.
So is my house.
Listen, fun fact. I don't know if I should ask you a question or just dive right into it. I'm just going to dive right into it. And so, did you know that Lego blocks are stronger than concrete?
No, I did not.
So listen, this is crazy. It says in 2012 we found this out. So it says a single ordinary sized Lego brick can support the weight of 375,000 other bricks before it fails. Theoretically, that would allow you to build a tower almost 3.5 kilometers high, but it's too expensive. The polymer that they use in the plastic. I'm like, why aren't we building houses out of Legos at this point, right? It's stronger. Why not?
I don't know if I want to live in a world that Legos house are made of Legos, even if it's stronger. It just feels weird.
Why not? But they said if you scaled it up, the problem is if you scaled it up to the same size as a concrete block, that's where it just gets too expensive.
I love the concept. It just feels weird.
But imagine the world we could live in.
I'm not against it, but I would also want Willy Wonka to make his appearance, and I want to eat these trees and bushes and
okay. Well, what if they weren't the
Lego houses and Willy Wonka gardens everywhere, and you could eat everything? Can you imagine how good that would be?
Also, have you seen the 3D printed homes?
No,
you haven't seen those. They literally have 3D printers, so they go around and they have ginormous 3D printers that basically just pour out concrete or this weird whatever.
If there is one thing I want to experience as an adult, I can tell you it's something that I've yearned for as a child. Is I want to walk through Willy Wonka's. I know it's fake, but when they go and they dip like their hand into that cream of that flour, a whole handful of it. I just want to know what that tastes like, and if it were to be real, I just can't imagine the delicacy. It's like, is it the inside of a Boston cream? Is it a Ready Whip? Is it like the inside of a sweet tart? Like what is that? That's all I want to know.
It's cool.
I mean, every time I watch that movie, I'm like, there's nowhere like this. That's what saddens me.
You know what I realize when we do podcasts like this? It really takes a lot to hold this microphone.
It's heavy. These things like 30 pounds. Corey's got us out here just grinding, trying to break the sweat while holding these mics.
I'm sweating. It's hot in here.
Well, hey, you asked for it.
Don't blame me. You asked for it.
All right. So if you were to say this is one thing in my life that I consider, I not pride myself, but one unbelievable thing that I have accomplished in my life, something you're really proud of, what would you say that it is? I mean, this is something you probably needed prep time for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, these are questions. Some prep would have been really nice.
But
what is your greatest achievement
in life?
I mean, gosh,
one of them.
There's so many. I mean, I could name my wife. I could name my kids.
You didn't make her.
Huh?
You didn't make her. You
mean make?
No, I mean, it's
greatest achievement. A pretty good achievement.
Your greatest achievement is marrying your wife.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
up
fair.
There. Now, if you exclude those things, because I think all of us, if you love your family, you're like, yeah, my wife and my kids for sure.
Hands down. Hands down.
That's a given first. Oh. I don't know. Why do you got to do this to me, Brandon?
Okay, well, let me tell you the story and then think about it. So the reason I ask is there's a guy named Matt Wilkinson. They call him Tugboat. He's a 270-pound left-handed pitcher.
Sure.
That people are always like, this guy can't do this. He doesn't have the fitness for this. They always talk about his body. The dude's throwing low 90s as a lefty, which mid-90s is average. But they say he's got such accuracy and can position his pitches and so much movement to him. He got drafted by the Guardians in the 10th round, $110,000 signing bonus, and he's in the minors, and they're like, this dude's going to make it. They call him Tugboat. If you got a name called Tugboat as a pitcher, you're just meant to be a big-time pitcher. Hopefully that dude makes it not even into the majors, but he makes it a 20-year career because he said David Cohn, I think it's David Cohn or David Wells, I forget, but one of them is his hero and talks about how, this dude had a 20-year career in the majors. And this dude, I believe he's going to make it. I believe in Tugboat. Tugboat, I'm giving you a shout out because I believe in you, bro. I believe in you, Tugboat. Making it happen, man. So Tugboat, Matt Wilkinson, we believe in you, man. So when I think about this guy, I'm like, yeah, he got drafted by the Guardians. Probably one of the most unbelievable things you could ever imagine. He wanted to be a pitcher. So I don't know. When I think of things, unbelievable things, I think of things that I'm glad I don't have to do over, but I'm really glad I did when I did them.
Yeah.
I would say there's two for me.
Okay.
And these are very carnal because that's what they are. So first would be getting on a scholarship to play football. I remember as a kid, my dream was to play college football on a scholarship. I grew up watching Michigan, the whole, Lloyd Carr era. Like, I just remember wanting so badly to be a paid athlete. And it wasn't that I didn't love baseball. It was just I loved football. I wanted to be a college football player. And so I think to finally be given a scholarship to play a sport, it's kind of like, apart from being in the pros, it's kind of like the peak of what you can do in sports. Like, it didn't pay for all my college, but it paid for some of it. And I just remember looking back, like, I had to get myself recruited. It wasn't like I was a heavily recruited guy, but sending film and being able to talk to coaches, like, I just remember looking back, I'm just really, really, really grateful that I did that. You know what I mean? I wanted to be a college athlete, and I did it. And so I'm really proud of that because it was a goal as a kid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so that was something for me that's been valuable.
That's cool. I think mine I think would have to be music related. I think, I shared the story a couple podcasts ago about my brother kind of being the inspiration for really chasing after music and his challenge to me of giving me the acoustic guitar. But yeah, probably, goodness, I feel like from the age of 7 or 8, it was just trying to tackle as many interests I could, whether it was drums, bass guitar, piano. Did a little trumpet in middle school.
Let's go. That's what I played. Bring it.
Yeah. So I think looking back, and you and I are actually talking about this the other day with your son Caden, who's in the drum line and stuff like that too, where it's like it's such a cool skill to learn for your brain too. Like, I think it's something that you can tackle that I don't know. It's always with me now, and I feel like it's just a cool achievement, a cool skill to have.
Music's awesome. Yeah,
and I agree,
it's 100%.
Fun. I was making drum beats on my computer last night. Well, 100%. Night before. So
yeah, 100%. I love music. It's a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
So one quick thing I want to talk about, really the main topic. That's something that I don't know if concerned is the right word, but something that startled me a little bit was all of these pro-Palestinian protests that are happening on college campuses right now.
Oh, wow.
So all these college students are urging their colleges to your arm getting tired.
Yeah, gotta give it a break.
Oh gosh, take this one. Take this segment.
I can feel it through here. Yeah.
All these pro-Palestinian protests. They're basically the amount of Palestinians killed compared to the amount of, I guess, Israelis killed is something like 32,000 to like 1,700. And they're wanting to force the hand of these colleges that are giving to anything pro-Israeli to say, pull your money from them. We don't want to support them. Anything the colleges are giving towards any type of research or anything. And so these college students, there was one just at Columbia University. Students had to be pulled out of the second floor, I think, of a building. A lot of these students didn't even go to that school, but they just kind of took over and went into this floor of this building and just kind of took it over for the week or weekend or whatever it was, 2 days. It's really like these protests are turning into modern day, what's it called whenever somebody just goes in your house and like camps out and you can't make a move?
Oh, squatters?
Squatters. It's like protesters turning into, it's kind of like that. So all these protests have been happening at all these different places: Columbia, Cal State, Yale, University of Connecticut, Harvard, Princeton, Brown, Northwestern, Texas, Southern Cal, George Washington, Virginia Tech, DePaul, UNC, Florida, Michigan, VCU, Portland, Tulane, Georgia, Utah, et cetera, and there's more.
Wow.
And so all these protests are happening, and these people are making it, and I think I just see such a similarity between this and like the hippie movement. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way or in backcutting but the hippie movement started out of peace. That's what they really wanted, right? And they would do these drugs to kind of take them to that place. But if you look at the movie with the Jesus follower movie,
Jesus Revolution.
Jesus Revolution. Have you watched that?
Yes.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Because what it did, it really opened my eyes to like what the hippie movement was about. And Kelsey Grammer I just love him in every way anyway. He's he's a great actor. He's really just such an incredible actor, But when you look into that movement, you realize what they were really looking for. And at the end of that movie, I realized people were doing these psychedelics and they were doing this stuff to kind of transport them. They were trying to find substitutes for what I believe would be the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And I feel like they were searching for something that maybe even the church wasn't really willing to open up to. And that's what the movie is about.
Yeah.
And, they were baptized in this famous, place in the water. They still do baptisms. Like, it's really become a historical landmarks based on that movie spiritually for a lot of people, like the church. But I see such a similarity between our generation now because I feel like there's a lack of law and order. And I'm not talking about beating people. I'm talking about overall order. The customer service is awful. Restaurant service is awful. Our standards right now and what we had prior to 2020 to now are way different, right? Every kid knows how to use a computer better than most people on Wall Street. We have kids who really were out of school for a year on a computer and they're academically behind. Healthcare has just gone crazy. To get a doctor's appointment, it takes you a year unless you're dying. There's just the infrastructure of this particular country is just not good, no matter what people say. They can look at a bottom line, but the reality is walk into your local restaurant or to your local hotel, and you'll just see people I don't know where everybody went. The people just stopped working. I don't know how they're getting paid or where they're making their money. People just stopped working. And so now, and I feel like in the 70s, I wasn't here, but 60s and 70s, but there was this whole stop sending our boys to fight. Like, we want peace. Like, they're fighting for their friends. They're fighting for their families. And I feel like now, today's students, I think I saw this video of a state trooper grabbing a student and like he was throwing himself. So he just lifted him up and carried him. And the kid's like, "You're hurting me. You're doing stuff." And the state trooper just jacked, just walking him. It was kind of funny. I was like, he wasn't hurting him. He was just carrying him. The dude was obviously being nonviolent protester, but he was doing something illegal. Like, you have to be removed. And honestly, I was like, I think we're just in a place where and they were having buses, they were packing these buses full of these protesters to take them to jail. And I just think that we are pointing fingers. It's obviously not right to do this. But I just think we're in a place where we just point fingers at the wrong people for the wrong things. Like, we created this. We have created this dichotomy. The country, as much as we want to paint this picture, things aren't good in so many ways. And this isn't a political podcast, so I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is they see this and they want to hyphenate it and make it all about all these different things with these college kids and this and that. But the reality is a lot of people are just, I think, just kind of sick of being a hamster in a wheel. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care about a lot of it, and I don't mean this in a bad way. It's not that I don't care about the pro-Palestinian march or, Israeli. It's not that I don't care about these things. I think that we have created a culture where everything is mediocrity right now with what we accept. There are very few things that are just high level, and it's what is the expectation coming forward.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And no, actually, the more I'm in the church, the more I realize that the local church is ran better than just about anything I've ever been around.
Yeah.
Like, local churches, when they're high level and organizations, they're ran really well, most of them. I'm not saying they're the only things ran well, but being in the church world, I see a level like some of my buddies are operating and the way they're leading, and you just don't see that in a lot of places. People accept. I'll tell you the one thing it's made it easier to please people with less, but also people are complaining more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It sounds weird. I've never aimed to just give them what they want and to please them. I've aimed to like go above and beyond what the expectations of people are. So that way you're not even going after the need. You're fixing the need, but then you're going after the bigger things. Like, just trying to make it bigger than what they can imagine. You want to create this incredible environment. As I saw this, I was just like, I couldn't help but see like, this is like a heart cry of society more than just a bunch of college kids protesting. Yeah. I feel like people are just, it's like whenever the Capitol got stormed years ago. Was it wrong? In every way. It was illegal. People are in jail for that. They should be. Yeah. But the culture, in my opinion, it's not changing.
No. Do you think that...
And I'm not saying that they're the same types of people.
Sure, yeah.
These are nonviolent. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm not insinuating that.
I wonder, too, how much of as a country, as a world, our overall mental state plays into this. Like...
A ton.
Depression, anxiety, worry, fear, doubt... the fact that the future is uncertain. The fact is, it's always been uncertain. But I think, things like COVID, things like the economy, I think, we have a generation. Yeah, when I grew up, I didn't necessarily have iPads and all this other kind of stuff. But you have a generation that kind of, I did have things like MySpace or, the start of Facebook and stuff. And we live our lives differently now. But I think that has a toll on us for sure. I think social media in general, I think they are tools and they're amazing, but we don't view them as tools. We view them as how we live. And yeah, I think people are searching for a much deeper cause. Like you kind of alluded to, like the Holy Spirit, I think that's why as Christians, we can be grounded, not that we don't, have our own issues too. We're human just like anyone else. But yeah, I think that plays a huge factor in where our world is. I think we're all not quite as happy as maybe we used to be, or content as we used to be. And I think we're all freaked out a little bit. I'm happier. Yeah. That's because I went to counseling and figured a lot of things out.
I agree with that. And I think a big part of it is, like for me, I had an anxiety disorder growing up, had suicidal depression, after I launched this church for years. And right now, post-COVID, I struggle a lot. Like when I leave places, it's like agoraphobia. Essentially when you leave places that you feel are comfortable, you have a lot of anxiety. Traveling, things like that. And for me, I can tell you the depths of me, like it doesn't stop me from doing anything. I don't really know the trigger, why I feel like that, other than for a year we were watching on TV, just the world was unsafe, right? Yeah. It's an unsafe place. Don't go out of your house. It's unsafe. And so when those things are bored into your brain, it's unsafe. And so now I'm having to reprogram, because I had already struggled with anxiety disorders. Now I'm having to reprogram my brain of like, it's safe. And so I find myself waking up in the middle of the night and like these panic attacks when I'm gone about, I feel unsafe, but my body's just trying to warn me. It's the fight or flight saying there's a bear, run. Well, I'm like, no, there's not a bear. Relax. You see what I'm saying? It's reprogramming. But prior coming into COVID, I was the healthiest I've ever been mentally. I had gone through a lot of counseling, 5 years of it. That was great. All the things I went through, I had counselors look at me and say, you should be dead. Like, and they shouldn't say that, right? But they were like, honestly, like, how are you even here? Because of all the stuff I went through. Like, I checked all these boxes for people that usually don't make it. And then coming out of COVID, all of a sudden, I felt like these things start back, and I'm like, why? But it is because of what you just said. There are so many things that our mind has processed and recorded that we're having to address. And I think for this, I think people are crying out. I think that everything is people try to make everything a substitute for the Holy Spirit, right? For everything God has, there's a counterfeit. We know that.
Yeah.
And this isn't a soapbox for me. It kind of broke my heart because they want to be heard. And honestly, the New York police had nothing to do with Columbia University, whatever. These kids, like, they're so far away from the issue, but yet they're all having to deal with it. And so yeah, it's been something it's taken off across these college campuses, just like Revival took off last year. They say at a college campus this year, protests are taking off, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not one of these huge guys who believe in revivals. I believe revival is more of something that's continuing and not something that just happens for 3 weeks and then it's gone.
Yeah.
I don't feel like God just drops his spirit and picks it up.
Yeah.
I feel like anytime if we all get together and pray every day and we're legitimate, like God's gonna start doing things because he's present.
With something that's stewarded.
Yeah. So I feel like the church in America, the church in the world's been in revival for probably the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I think they've said more people got saved from 2000 to 2020 than in all of history combined. I don't know how they'd measure that, but I think because of the sheer volume of people on the earth, the amount of people coming to know Christ.
Yeah.
I say all that because God's doing amazing things.
Yeah.
The world is being reached.
There is a growing trend
The
of
world's
people
being reached.
coming
Yes.
back to faith.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think to your point, you said people are just sad. The thing that keeps me, and I forgot exactly how I wanted to word it, but the thing that keeps me, and it's not even about being sad or being happy, but the thing that overwhelms me and keeps me is 100% hope that this is not my place. This is not my resting place.
Yeah.
Like this, I love my boys. I love what they do, but like this is a temporary place. And I think when we rest in what we have and we look around at what we have, it's really devastating. But when you think, man, this is a resting place, God's got something great. I'm not waiting for that. I love it here. But the number one thing, I used to feel like I was always afraid of being lonely. That was my biggest fear, is that I'm going to pastor this church and do great things in community and raise 4 great boys and have great grandchildren, and then great-great-grandchildren. And it's going to be amazing. I'm going to get to meet all them, but then something happens where I don't have my wife. If something happens to her, I'm alone, and I'm 85 years old, alone in like a home somewhere. Like that was my biggest fear, because I don't want to be alone. But then I realized like that's not actually my biggest fear. My biggest fear is being empty.
That's good.
And I used to always think it was loneliness because I realized, no, like you give me a camping chair and a PS5, even if I'm 85, I'm probably good. You know what I'm saying? Like if nothing else, I'll just holler at you. We can play video games online.
Go. Yep.
But God's remind me, like, you're not actually afraid of being alone. You're afraid of being empty. And I think that's something I see now in a lot of people, especially, and I'm call out some travel ball parents, like their whole life is invested in their kids. Like they put so much money into their kid. If they want it, they get it. And they're living vicariously through them, not even realizing it. And when I talk to them, I realize, and this isn't for everybody. Listen, I'm saying this specific because this is the world I'm in. This is specific to this. But there's so many parents I talk to that I'm like, when their kids are done, what are you going to do with your life? Because your whole life is that kid.
Yeah.
And there's an emptiness in them that I see that breaks my heart because I'm thinking, this is going to be a very depressing time for you if you don't have something in your life apart from this. And no, I'm not calling out travel ball parents who, because I'm like that. My kid has all the stuff. My kid's on the teams. My kid, we pay the money. Like I get all that. So I'm one of you. All right. I'm just saying my hope, because I think what's when Caden, Riley, Makai, and Asher are done with sports, and 10 years from now they're all done. I'm only going to be 50, and I've got this house with all this property and all this stuff. Like my kids are all gone. Then what? And I just think, well, I'm not going to be empty. Because I love God. I love the local church. I'll be pastoring this beautiful church. Hopefully we're all still here doing this together.
Yeah.
And we're not empty. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
We won't be lonely because we'll never be empty.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are longing for. I think people are longing for fulfillment. I don't think it's loneliness. I think it's they're empty. I think people think they're lonely, but they're just empty.
Yeah. That's
people
good.
say, how can you be lonely with so much social? How can you be lonely with all this? I don't think people are lonely. I think they're just empty. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be in a room full of people and feel lonely, but it's really just because you don't feel seen. You don't feel recognized. You don't feel valued.
Don't feel known. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And so that's really kind of something I've been walking through, is I feel like I'm not really scared of being alone when I'm older because I don't feel alone. Casey will say sometimes I don't feel like you'd notice, like, she's like, I feel like you could do life without all of us. And she doesn't say that in a way because I'm just not present at home.
Yeah.
She's just like, you're so independent. Like you can just run. I told her the other day, and I told her, I said, we were dating. We dated for 6 years. I said, when I was at work and stuff like that, I didn't care about, when we worked together at 2 different jobs in college and in high school. And we worked other places, but there were 2 particular jobs we worked together. And I said, when you were there, I didn't really care about doing stuff on Saturday nights or working on Saturday nights or working on a weeknight. I said, I like to hang with our families, but I didn't really care because you were there. And that's the only person I just wanted to be with her anyway. And she's like, that really surprises me. This is this week in the car. I was like, why? They married 19 years together, 19 years this month. And I was like, why would that surprise you? She goes, because I never would have thought that you just wanted to be with me. Like you've always you'll go to things and like you're talking to everybody and I'm just doing my thing. She's like, it's cool. She's like, but you're just kind of like there with people and you're okay with just, and she's like, I just never thought I was like, oh yeah. I was like, when we were dating, even now, like I just want to be where you're at and then everything else, you know what I mean? And I think it's because for me personally, I know in my life, I'm okay with being alone. I love my wife and my kids and I want them there. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not trying to say I don't want them, but I guess I give that off of like, I can do my own thing, but I don't mean to do it. It's just, I don't want to be empty, but I'm okay with not having people around all the time, but I love people and they're the reason I tick.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally understand that. I think, I've realized the more, I've kind of even gotten to know myself, I'm okay. I'm right there with you. I think as a person who, I don't even call myself an introvert anymore. I don't know. I used to, and you, every time I've said it, you're like, you're not really an introvert. You're just, again, I think I'm a more quiet type person, but I get into settings where I realize I do have a lot to say and all this kind of stuff, but I used to always
opinionated.
That's true. I'm stubborn. I used to almost like thrive to have space like by myself and alone, and like, man, that's where I recharge. That's where I refresh. And now it happens where my like wife will go on a trip, maybe back to like her home in Maryland, and take the kids. And after one day, I'm like, what do I do? I almost don't know what to do anymore. Yeah. And it's not a loneliness. It's just literally like, man, I would be okay, but you're like, these are people that I feel like even now more than ever, and this leads into our conversation we literally just had yesterday, where it's like I'm invested in these people. Like they're my family, but it's like I feel like everything I do almost is for them and about them. And when they're not there, you like twiddle your thumbs and you're like, what's my purpose?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, if my kids are gone out of my life, it gets pretty boring pretty fast.
Yeah. Like there is like, as cool as, we joke, as cool as video games are and stuff like that, there's really only so much you can do with that. Even I'm at the point now where, shout out my brother TJ, I don't play video games unless he's playing. I'm not playing by myself. Yeah. That's boring. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. Well, hey, final thought.
Here's my final thought.
I want to give a shout out to a beekeeper named Matt Hilton. Last night, the Arizona Diamondbacks LA Dodgers game, there was a bee hive forming on one of the nets, and it started to happen really fast. And they're like, we can't play this game. They had to clear out a whole section. And so they tried to call local beekeepers, and they couldn't find anybody. This dude
was what game did this?
The Dodgers and Diamondbacks.
Oh, for some reason I thought you said the Hornets or something.
That would have been really
that was on the nose.
So they called this guy, and he drives 45 minutes to the game.
Hey.
He gets there. He gets in the golf cart. They drive him into the stadium. People are cheering.
Oh, that's cool.
He goes up on the lift, does all the stuff he does to the bees, sucks them in these containers, gets them all off of there. 2-hour delay to the game, and then they throws out the first pitch.
Talk about an audience to what you do.
He was at his son's T-ball game.
Oh.
And he got a call from the Diamondbacks. They were like, hey, we're trying to find a beekeeper. We got this. And he's just a beekeeper. He's a local branch manager of a beekeeper business around the area.
All I got to know, that guy's got good advertising.
Heck,
they knew how to find him.
Oh, yeah. Well, or they just typed it in. There's only 3 of them. They said one guy was 45 minutes away. One guy was an hour away. Drives. I mean, how many beekeepers ever get driven into the stadium? How many? 28,000 people on hand watch you do your job.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a story.
Then he threw out the first pitch.
That's really cool.
Heck yeah, it's cool.
It'd be so cool to throw out the first pitch.
That man's coming back to throw another pitch this year at some point, just because he's a local legend.
That's awesome.
So, hey, one last thought before after we give that little shout out there is I had a thought the other day. I don't watch a lot of dramas on TV. I watch movies. I don't compound dramas.
Is that because your life is drama, Brandon? Is that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
I just feel like they're heavy.
Yeah.
You're right?
Honestly, I'm going to say sometimes that's why I don't watch dramas.
Yeah, they're just heavy.
There's too much drama going on. I don't need it.
They do say that watching TV can help you mentally because it just kind of blocks you off and you focus on it. Yeah. They say if you watch more than the average American watches 3.1 hours a day, they say more than 4 hours can lead to dementia and Alzheimer's, all these different things in your brain. I don't know how statistically true those are, but those are statements that are made by people who believe they have the factual evidence to back it up. But I will say this, my wife and I started to watch a drama the other day. I'd gotten into almost the first season through it, and I'm addicted. It's like an hour long. Oh, yeah. And I love it. And then I just realized, I kind of got dramatic about stuff over the next 2 days. I was like, she's like, why are you being so dramatic? I was like, you know what? I think you have a point. Yeah. So I stopped watching it because I felt like everything was so dramatic. Everything was so big.
Yeah.
And they've done research on this. And they say one thing about dramas is it brings people together that watch the show. So if you watch the same drama somebody else brings, it's like a community of people. Like for This Is Us, good Lord, I heard about that show all the time.
Yeah.
Did you watch that show?
We did, yeah. But the story started branching out to so many different things that I was just like, I can't track this anymore.
That's what every drama actually does that to me. Yeah. You get to the point where you get so many seasons in, you're like, wait, that person lives where doing what?
A Million Little Things did that as well, too. There's too many storylines. I'm like, I don't have time to stay committed to this.
I was like, if you ain't got one good one or a couple good ones that are going to keep me locked in, I can't do it.
Yeah.
All that to say, hey, be careful what you watch, man. Maybe for some of y'all, dramas are your thing. Be careful what you watch because I have seen a consistency in what people watch and how they respond to life. It's the truth. You can maybe not a statistic. Maybe they haven't done tests on that, but I'm telling you, I know for me, it affected me. So I was like, man, I stopped watching it. I love the show, but I was like, no, I can't do it because it's changing how I'm reacting. Just that's the last thing I'm watching at night. I'm watching it for an hour or two. Then I'm just watching it back to back to back. How many things a day are you feeding your mind?
Yeah.
And you're thinking about, well, I'm taking this one thing for at least an hour. Well, it's going to affect you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There's also recent studies too with, obviously the popularity of like TikTok where you're watching 15, 20-second videos. One makes you cry. The other makes you laugh. The other is some political thing and you're kind of upset about it. The other's like, it's like you're taking all of those emotions in the span of the 20 minutes that you're watching TikTok.
I feel
just be aware of what's happening.
I just feel like we're eating a big cake filled with steak.
Fruit cake.
Yeah,
Everything.
fruitcake.
Everything.
It's a big cake filled with, you bite into it and there's a steak, and then your next bite you keep chewing, it's crackers, and then you chew it again, you got sweet tarts, and then your next chew it's meatloaf, and then your next chew it's
Thanksgiving
goat cheese.
leftovers.
Yeah,
that you just,
it's just like, why is this so weird? We're not meant to handle it like we are taking the cortisol dump to a next level, right?
It's too much.
So hey, just be careful what you watch, just like you be careful what you eat, because it matters. You know, people watch dramas, and that's why they're so dramatic, living in the false realities. You know, I'm just saying it. I'm saying, you ever watch people that watch the news, they keep it on Fox or CNN all day? You ever know those people?
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's not good for you. Hey, let's pray. Lord, thank you for each and every person. I pray that you be with them. Help them know you love them. I pray that they would see that you see them, and that, Father, they don't ever have to be lonely. God, that you are there. That, Father, they can be emotionally full, spiritually full. That, Father, you see them, you're before them. We love you. And everybody said, amen. Hey, we love y'all. We'll see you.